that the needs were very much the same here as they are and have been across the nation, that we have an unemployment problem with veterans, a chemical abuse problem with veterans, veterans having problems processing the war and becoming integrated back into the mainstream of society. So we operated the base camp concept on a very small scale through the Vietnam Veterans of America Local Chapter 46 here in Nashville, and then through the efforts of Mayor Fulton and Gerald Nicely of Metropolitan Housing Development Agency and Pat Colley, who is the director of the Mayor's Employment Training Agency, we were able to secure a permanent location for the base camp at its present site on Edge Hill Avenue and some partial funding for the program. And we were able to do this about a year ago. And since that time, we have seen I don't know how many hundreds of veterans. Now, in the course of all this, we looked at the vet center concept in Memphis, Knoxville, Atlanta, Miami, and in different vet centers across the country. They are primarily designed for the Vietnam-era veteran. We looked at it, veterans share a common experience regardless of the time served or the duty station. Veterans of all ages fall in the categories of the unemployed or the having problems with alcohol or chemicals, or having problems processing the war, or other problems, marital problems, family problems, whatever. So we decided that we would open the program to all veterans regardless of time served or where they served. We thought that they paid the price, and therefore they should be.
Now, was there another veterans organization around before the establishment of base camp?
Well, the Disabled American Veterans operated a small program back in 1980, late 79, early 80. They got out of the program for a couple reasons. It was grossly understaffed, for one thing. And the second reason, they had all the assurances that the VA was coming into Nashville with the Vet Center program, so therefore they didn't feel like that they should spend the kinds of money and the kinds of man-hours they were having to spend on a duplication of effort, when the VA, they felt, should be the ones responsible for this thing. And we got bypassed for whatever reason.
Now, base camp is a private organization.
Exactly.
And it is not affiliated with
We're
VA.
not affiliated. We work with the VA. We share clients with the VA or share information with the VA, as we do with several agencies in the Nashville area and across the country. But we are not affiliated or associated with the VA in any way, shape, or form.
Now, do you receive any kind of federal support in terms of dollars from VA?
Indirectly through the Jobs Training Partnership Act, which is administered locally through METRA, the Mayor's Employment Training Agency. That's the only type of that kind of funding that we get. The other is private contributions and private donations from businesses. And that's basically it. That's basically the way we want it.
Well, now, why would you want it that way?
Well, one of the problems, especially with the Vietnam era veterans, they have, some of the veterans going into the post-traumatic stress syndrome somewhat, they felt that the government sold them down the river as far as the war was concerned. These people were sent to a war that did not have a clear-cut purpose, nor were there any designs on our part to win the rascal. So therefore, they felt that they participated in a big real waste of time and manpower. Subsequently, they had this image about the federal government that was all negative, and anything to do with the federal government, whether it be the VA, the Small Business Administration, or anything to do with the federal government, they just didn't want anything to do with it.
Are you saying that the general attitude, especially among Vietnam veterans, some of the Vietnam veterans, was a very a very negative attitude in terms of...
Exactly. One of the things that the Vet Center program did, they went out into a storefront situation, like in Memphis. Memphis has a large VA hospital, as we do here in Nashville. But the Vet Center is on 3rd and Madison, right downtown, right as far downtown in Memphis as you can get. And it's away from the VA. So it's, and the counselors in there, they'll be wearing anything from trousers and a sports shirt to T-shirts and blue jeans and tennis shoes. So they did not want to appear to give this federal, this governmental type atmosphere, this governmental environment. They wanted the thing to be a nice, comfortable, relaxed, low-keyed operation.
Well, now I raise this question, Mr. Deering, not primarily because I see the problems that are faced by a large number of young men who went to the Vietnamese War. I see that as a major problem, and it's the kind of problem that will require numbers of dollars to deal with. And to say that base camp is attempting to deal with the problems of substance abuse, to deal with the problems of unemployment and et cetera, as a private organization, or even though you are receiving some financial resources from the federal government, it seems that that's not the correct way to...
Money is not the answer to the thing. It's the management of the program is the answer to the problem. Unfortunately, yeah, we do. We do see a lot of monies going into programs that don't really filter down into the people that really they really should address. And that's a management problem. That's a management of the agency's problem. And what we have done is to look at the problem on an individual basis. Exactly why are you unemployed? Exactly why do you remain unemployed? Or why cannot you hold a job? We look at that as more important than the sheer numbers of this person's unemployed, this person needs an employee, we're going to make the match.
Mr. Greenfield, the problem of substance